That's right. It's a kind of cloudy Monday afternoon in October. The book sale finished up at 12 o'clock today, and I'm sure that by now they're probably almost finished packing it up. We do have Lois Strauss here, who is the first coordinator of ESL and literacy volunteer programs right here at the Greenwood County Library. I tell you what, she spent a long time in books. In fact, she married a guy that was the manager of the Greenwood Walden Books here. So welcome to the show today, Lois.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Absolutely. So, where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And you went all the way to Charleston. I find that amazing that y'all just picked up and went to Charleston. What was the impetus? Of course, it was a different time in history where people struck out, right, and traveled.
Yeah, that's true. Back in the mid-'70s.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to graduate so I could move south. It's too cold up there.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. So how did you pick Charleston, just out of curiosity?
The size of the city and the latitude.
Yeah.
And we just fell in love with it. And we've been here ever since. I worked at the College of Charleston Library and also at the Lander University Library and now at the County Library.
Well, I tell you what, you've been a library infused in your life, right? When you think about libraries, Lois, I mean, the library of today isn't the library of 20, 25 years ago, is it?
No, it's much more connected. As a matter of fact, the reason why I'm here is to talk about how connected the county library is with our accessibility to the Mango Languages program.
Sure. And there's so many things that you can do online with the library. It is just phenomenal. But as far as coming to and being involved in the Greenwood Library, you, of course, have taken on the massive task of helping with ESL and literacy, but you worked for the Literacy Council before it was no more, correct?
I volunteered
Yeah.
in both Charleston and Greenwood with literacy, and I spoke with a lot of people that were trying to learn English when I was trying to learn Spanish, and and so it's.
You saw the frustration on both sides.
Yeah. Often I found that their need was so much greater than mine because they were here and needed the English more than I needed the Spanish. So my hobby became more of a vocation, and I started to teach people English more and more.
One of the things, though, that is happening to me, it seems like we see so many, you can go to a bank now and have a Hispanic speaker. You can go to most stores and see things and directions in Spanish on a box. You can see them in Spanish and in English. A lot of things have changed then from when they were even 10 years ago.
That's true. And it's easier for English speakers to learn Spanish. It goes both ways.
But still, the need to be able to speak another language, particularly for the Hispanics, is very, very great. Now, I guess that in my dealings with a lot of Hispanic people, it seems to be the kids always are able, they're quite often the translators for the parents.
Yes, that often happens because they're immersed in the language all day in school. And the parents are either at home or maybe on a job where there's limited speaking. And so the parents, the program at the library is for adults, anybody beyond high school, for both English as a second language and literacy, learning to read and write better, no matter what language is your native language. And it's been helped a whole lot by the language, the Mango Language program.
Sure.
And we were very lucky to get the American Dream Toolkit grant through
Dollar General
Store and the American Library Association.
I think it is amazing that Dollar General is so committed to literacy and to this Mango language program and everything. Why do you think that is?
Well, they have a literacy foundation that's a big part of what they do. And I don't know, if you have been to our Dollar General store, they are even taking donations for their literacy program all
I
the
didn't
time.
know that, yeah.
Yeah, and somebody that works in the library said, "Oh, you know, they have this literacy program," and I said, "Yep, they gave us a grant."
I think it's
Already.
amazing. You know, I would love to know the connection and why Dollar General chose that as a cause, shall we say, that whether somebody that was big in the company had to learn English. Or, you always wonder what gives somebody the impetus to come on big. And the fact that Greenwood Library was able to get, there was only, how many grants were given out for the Mango?
Nationally, we were chosen to be one of 44 public libraries in only 21 states.
Right.
So we
Phenomenal.
were very lucky to be at the right place at the right time, and Prudence Taylor, the director of the library, wrote the grant
Yeah.
and got it.
Yeah.
So it's been wonderful. We're able to buy 7 laptop computers as well as the Mango subscription that's available to anybody that wants to learn the language.
Anybody that has a library card. And getting a library card is pretty darn easy.
Yes, it takes 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got to ask now. Prudence was over in Kenya when the mall attack, the attack on the mall and everything.
Yes.
How's Prudence? Is she okay?
Oh, she's fine.
She's fine?
She was in the same country, that's true.
Yeah.
And people were a bit worried about her, but she was fine.
She was fine.
And
She had a great time.
oh yes.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. That sounded like an excellent trip. I just wanted to bring it up because I know a lot of people knew, because it was right before she was going on the trip that she was on the air with us talking about library stuff.
Yeah. I wonder how many of your viewers were thinking of her.
Well, I was thinking of her for sure.
Listeners.
Yeah. Well, we have viewers because we're doing a video too. So,
Okay.
now as far as the literacy program, sometimes we think only of those people that are Hispanic or different languages trying to learn English. But you know what? We have people who grew up that just don't have a good command of English and writing, don't we?
Oh yes.
And reading.
Yeah. There was a man that just came to my office this week that he is in his 60s and is taking care of, he has 30-year-old children and now has a 9-year-old son, and also does mentoring.
Way to
of
go.
other people. And he just realizes that he needs more skills of reading and writing and to be able to do what he wants to do. And so he came to the library asking for help.
That has to be a hard step to take, though. A hard step to come through those doors and say, I realize I could use more help. I think a lot of people probably, how many stories have we heard over time of people memorizing a story and
Right.
pretending that they're reading to their children when
Right.
they can't read and this type of thing.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll say, "Oh, I forgot my glasses,"
Right,
and they maybe didn't need them.
right.
And a lot of times it's wives or husbands of people that want to learn to read better, or friends. An acquaintance through church came to our doors once and said, "Can you help him?" And then I showed him all our resources that we have and the workbooks and things, and he said, "Oh, maybe I could do this." And so he ended up
Becoming a
being
tutor?
volunteer tutor, once a week with this person.
Wow.
And
Very
doing
cool.
well.
Very cool. But that is that has to be a hard step for somebody, particularly, we see the PSAs out there of adults that are covering up and yet they want to know how to do this, and to take that step to go through the doors and improve yourself is sometimes very tough.
Yeah, I imagine so, especially for an adult that thinks they're in charge.
Right, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Or somebody that has tried to keep it a secret that they don't know how to do this. But, the good thing about the library, this is a free program, and you do try to match up volunteers with the person, and all of the tutoring is always done right there at the library. Am I correct on that?
Yes. We have lots of different little nooks and places, soundproof rooms and offices that to choose from. So we can have multiple people teaching in their own separate places.
Sure.
And the central location of the library makes it perfect for people to get to.
Sure, exactly. Well, we are here with Lois Strauss. We are going to hear a word from our sponsors, then we're going to be right back. Ah, parlez-vous français? Do you speak French? Well, if not, you can learn it at Mango Languages right there at the library. Hey, we'll be right back. Don't you go away. Oh, that's right. We're right back here. We are talking about how to learn another language and how people that don't know English very well can learn English, but also how if you are having issues being able to read or write and you want to improve, you know, there is nothing like having that satisfaction. I've heard story after story over the lifetime that I've been doing this on the radio, and you just do continue to hear about people who have that joy of reading. And in today's world, so many times, even if we could read when we were younger, if we didn't spend the time reading, and in today's world, you can get kind of all your news from TV or radio. You can watch movies, and you can kind of lose that ability to read. If you're not using it, I guess you could lose it. That's what I was told one day anyways. And you think about people who go back for second careers and trying to go back to school, they may have issues being able to read or write the way that they did at one time when they were using it a lot.
Yes, it's very useful on the job to earn money and make a living and survive. You just need to be able to read and communicate in English.
Sure. And of course, I guess there's the computer language, like emails and everything has changed a lot of that. But we still need those skills to be able to do things in this world. So what the library offers you is the opportunity to be able to read and write fluently, whether you're helping grandchildren, you know, maybe you're a grandparent out there and you're dealing with grandchildren, maybe they are in your lap and you're taking care of them, but boy, the world is so different today than it was 20 years ago, isn't it?
It sure is. And the library has a lot of bilingual books that you can, if your native language might be Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
you can read it to them, to your grandchildren in both languages. And
Well, that's pretty neat, yeah.
or learn Spanish that way and teach it to your child. It's just a wonderful way to share through reading.
Sure. And of course, they have programs right there. Now, let's just go through the ESL and the literacy, what you're actually doing at the library, and then we're going to be talking about what you can do online with Mango and everything. But what type of program? I know a few weeks ago you were training new volunteers.
Yes, what I do is find volunteers, hopefully come to the library to say that they'd like to learn to teach English or to read or write. And we have a training twice a year, and other times, you know, I can do the training and show a lot of resources. We have workbooks and different curriculums to choose from. What we try to do is meet the student wherever they are. If they need pronunciation, reading, writing, conversation, you know, any of those things that you might be interested in doing, you know, I can get you together with the resources and the student and get you going one day a week to meet with someone and give back some of what you may have been given.
Sure, exactly. So you have the resources and the materials to help somebody teach somebody else.
Yes.
And I understand your resources actually are quite extensive.
Oh, yes. We have several different curriculums to choose from, and lots of what they call realia, you know, objects and just regular life to use in the classroom. And we have, of course, what we're going to talk about later, the Mango Languages program that we got through the American Dream Toolkit grant.
Sure.
So
now, how do we actually teach people? Do we use phonetics anymore, or have we changed, or what are we using now?
definitely, I I really believe in teaching phonics to learn to read. And some of it has to be through sight words, where you just memorize.
Sure.
Because English is such a crazy language, it's not.
That's true. That's true.
What you see and what you get are maybe sometimes two different things, and you just have to memorize.
Exactly.
A lot of words.
Well, I think it's good to use phonics because that does make such a difference in being able to move on your own at some point.
Yeah. Sound out the words.
Sound out the word. Okay, so we have that type of program available now for our English as a second language. How do we teach that?
Well, we have 3 different levels to that as well. The first, the beginning level, of course, there's a lot of phonics and pronunciation and just basic vocabulary. And it starts to take action when people learn the verbs to use and the different tenses. And in the intermediate level, there would be more grammar and more writing and expressing yourself. And then with the advanced class, we have, it's just expressing yourself in English as a group, in a group context where you feel secure, and but still knowing that your English will be corrected. So we have all different levels depending on the need of the student.
Now, how do the students work through this as far as working in a group, particularly when you get to the advanced level? If it's more group, how long does it take to get somebody to that advanced level usually, Lois?
Oh, it varies from person to person. So far, we've had people come to us already on the advanced level, and then several people have said, okay, I want to work on the intermediate level for a little bit more until I get to the advanced level. It's kind of a readiness level that you just know that you'd like to have more. But when you have a one-on-one volunteer and student together, there's a natural progression. They don't necessarily progress to a class.
Now, just out of curiosity, if you want to teach English as a second language, do you have to know Spanish or another language to help a student?
No, it's not necessary to know a foreign language, and it's not necessary to be a certified teacher. We train people depending on the student that they choose and what the needs of the student might be. And you just have to have a willingness to give and a desire to give back, along with certain characteristics. You have to have a certain amount of patience, but
patience is a virtue.
Everyone loses that from time to time.
Yeah. Well, it's frustrating. Yeah, that has to be somewhat frustrating sometimes. When, particularly, I think as teachers, we all think that we've explained it just right, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, and then you find out maybe you haven't explained it just right.
So a certain amount of creativity would say, let's try it this way.
Sure, exactly. So these are programs that are available at the library. Now, if somebody is interested in being a volunteer, do they have to wait to the next training session, or how would this work, Lois?
Oh, just contact the library or get directly to me, and we'd be glad to talk to you about it, and I will be glad to train anyone who walks in our door.
So you don't necessarily have to wait for a training session, I guess
correct.
what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have some time on your hands, and the other thing I understand is that this can be it can be kind of a flexible program if you know you're going to be gone in 2 weeks, and this is not a problem.
Right. You know, this is real life, and everyone knows that you take vacations from time to time, and sometimes the student is taking a vacation or maybe goes back to their native country all summer long. You know, it just varies. We have one volunteer who is only here half of the year, and she goes back to her home for half of the year, and so
you can work with that.
Work it out.
Work it around it. Oh, that's great. Hey, what's that number at the library? If somebody's listening, then we're going to hear South Carolina news.
Okay. It's 941-3044 is my
941-343, what is it? I'm sorry.
3044.
3044. Okay, 941-3044 to call Lois at the library. Right now we are going to join South Carolina News in Progress. We'll be right back. Don't you go away.
Arg, are you a pirate or a pack rat? Do you have a vacation of a lifetime sitting in the attic? Or a college tuition hung on a wall? Or is a fabulous retirement hidden in your jewelry box? Bring those items to Sharp Facets Gallery. We can establish value and buy from you or sell for you. And so ends another chapter at Sharp Facets Gallery, 72 Bypass, and on the web, sharpfacets.com.
Oh, that's right. We are right back here, Sharp Facets Gallery, right here on Meet Me at the Diner with Lois Strauss with us here, and just talking about all the things going on at the library. And we always think about the library as a place where you can go and get great books and take them back and take more out. Maybe you get magazines and newspapers and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, the library does so much more. Not only can you get books at the library, but if you need to brush up on your English, your literacy, if you want to learn how to write and read, and maybe you've always said you were going to spend more time on it, now you have a little time, this is a place to go. If you have the time to help teach people who need to learn English, they still need more people. There is a greater need than what we have volunteers. Would that be fair to say, Lois?
Definitely. Right now we have 16 students on a waiting list for just the right volunteer at the right time.
Right. And you don't have to wait till another training program. Lois has said right here that you are willing to help get them started, get them trained so they can work one-on-one with a student.
Yes, either one-on-one, or if you would prefer to teach a class, you know. Most of our volunteers do one-on-one because there's just such a special relationship, and you can fulfill exactly what the student needs one-on-one once a week.
Sure. And then, of course, you can progress to different levels. You can stay with that same student, I would presume, or you could even stay at one if you feel more comfortable teaching an introductory level or a medium level. You can do all that. But this is all with adults.
Yes.
Or over 18, I guess. Do we consider those 18 adults? Whoops, sorry about that. But that is the age group that you're working with, 18
once they're
and
out
above.
of high school.
Once they're out of high school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So this is an excellent program to help somebody and to give back to the community, and you can really see what you've helped somebody learn.
Yeah, there's nothing like seeing improvement, just even small little improvements that people are just so proud. One person said to me, "You changed me too much," and I thought, oh, and then I realized she meant so much. When she said, "I feel so much more confident with my English."
Yeah. Well, there is a big, and it has to be very difficult to be not understanding what's being said, to have to depend on, if you have children, to depend on them to tell you and this type of thing. So that is a very, very good thing. And for those that already speak and know English, to be able to do it better.
Yes.
Is a big accomplishment.
You gain more independence and just widen your whole perspective of life.
Sure. Absolutely. So that is what's going on there. If you would like to see about volunteering, you can call Lois back at the Greenwood Library, 941-3044. That's 941-3044. She'd love to talk to you and see if there's not some part that you could do. You also said, Lois, that you realize that the schedules have to be a little bit flexible. Not everybody is available at exactly the same time every week.
Right, and some people meet every other week, and some people change it from week to week depending on their schedule that they get on a Sunday.
Sure, yeah.
And others just at the same time. So, and then if you go on a vacation, you just decide, okay, well, we'll meet next week and just skip a week. And so it's not a constricting thing. It's something that really weaves into your life.
And of course, the other thing that sometimes I think people are concerned about, you don't have to worry about doing this at your home, or you do it right there at the library.
Right. We have some soundproof rooms and offices that you can choose from to meet in at the library. And with its central location, it's the perfect place to come with all our resources to choose from. If somebody has an interest in maybe a certain country, or there are so many books of all different types that could be drawn into the
Discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so that's one part of what Lois does. But the other thing she does, she works with the Mango program, which is, of course, it come from the original subscription came from Dollar General, and I'm still blown away when I think about them doing that. And I also, though, understand you're going to be able to continue use of this program in order to. You've gotten I think Pooh's told me a little bit of a deal to be able to keep the program right there at the Greenwood Library next year.
Yes, it's been such a success. Just hundreds and hundreds of people have been using it and enjoying Mango languages thanks to the American Dream Toolkit grant from Dollar General Store and the American Library Association. We're just very lucky to have gotten it. One of the very few, only 44 nationally, have gotten this grant.
And let's see, I understand there's about 60 different languages.
Yes, they keep adding languages.
So, if you're out there listening and you'd like to know how to speak Yiddish, you can learn it. I can't believe some of the languages that they have here on this, Lois. This is pretty amazing. We have everything from, you can learn Croatian, you can learn Chinese, but you can learn Urdu. Whatever that one is, you can learn Urdu if you happen to be going to a place that speaks Urdu. You can go. You can learn Hindi, Pashto, Norwegian, Tagalog. Okay, Swedish, Swahili. There are 60 languages right there for you to learn, folks. And now, Lois, explain to us, because there's actually 2 levels of learning, isn't there?
Well, there's a basic level where you can just learn common things like expressing gratitude or greetings and things like that to get along as a traveler in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a more complete level of the Mango languages course that, you
It's
can
more in-depth.
handle currency and
Handling money, that's a good thing. Yeah,
Things
that's
that
a
you
lot
might
better
need.
than somebody saying, you say, well, how much is it? And they go, that's all of what you have in your hand.
Right, whatever you have. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and how to get by in an emergency. How do you say help?
Right, exactly. Good stuff to learn, but you learn how to speak it more, I guess, more in depth than you do on the basic level.
Right.
And the wonderful thing about it is, if you're going to somewhere where they have internet and connectivity, I guess you could come right back here to Greenwood and pick up your Mango program even in the country that you were at.
That's true. If you have access to the internet anywhere in the world and you have a Greenwood County Library card, you can put in your patron number and get in our website. You go to greenwoodcountylibrary.org, and on the home page, there's a little link that you can click on saying Mango, and you can study up at night.
If you want to
to be
figure
ready
out
for the next day.
Yeah, right. That's right. If you're frustrated and can't figure out how to get out of the paper bag you're in, you can still have opportunity to learn it that
It's
night.
never too late.
Never too late. Well, that is terrific. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Mango. Hopefully somebody out there is listening and said, hey, I would love to volunteer, and I've never thought about doing it. But it is something that anybody that has a command of the English language should be able to help teach somebody else how to speak either English as a second language or even literacy, reading and writing in English. Am I correct on that?
That's right.
All right.
Thanks
Hey,
very much.
we're going to hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. That's right. We're right back here at Sharp Facets Gallery, just talking about some of the fascinating things about language and learning a language. And there are so many possibilities. When you have, I think a lot of people don't realize how fortunate we are to have, Prudence, who would put in for a grant that would end up being one of only how many libraries across the United States? 44, 41,
Yes.
40 some? To end up with having Mango here, and then to be able to work out a deal to continue to have it as a free service to all of those who are library card holders is phenomenal. And you know, they say, actually, I've read, where learning a language or being involved in language is not maybe going to prevent Alzheimer's, but it helps your brain. It's good work for your brain. So maybe learn another language like Urdu. There you go. May not find many uses for it, but I love these. These are fabulous. Of course, there's French and Spanish and Dutch and maybe Hungarian, but there's so many other languages out there. And the fun of it is that you can just experience the whole experience of learning a different language, even if you don't actually learn it all the way through.
Right. 2 of our volunteers are going to Portugal, and so they were interested in learning the Mango Languages Portugal program. And it's just really nice. I'm going to be going to Denmark in a couple of months, and I want to learn Danish to
Because your daughter lives there, right?
Yeah, my daughter lives there. And you know, just
have
if
you started learning this any Danish yet? Have you started?
A little bit.
Is it difficult?
It's very difficult.
Oh, okay.
There are sounds that we don't have in English.
There are sounds we don't have in English. Okay.
You have to train your ear, and Mango is great because it has a section of it where you record your voice, and then you can hear yourself speaking the language, and then compare it to that phrase to the native speakers, and listen to the two together. And so that's a really great portion of Mango, and it builds with conversations, and it helps you try to use certain language in different situations, so that it's a very good way of learning a different language, and it's great that it's accessible 24/7 through the Greenwood County Library's website.
Absolutely.
With just click in your patron number, and you have access to it thanks to the grant from Dollar General.
Now, when you set yourself up and you say you want to learn Urdu, does it remember where you're at? I mean, if you take one lesson and then you come back to it again, or do you have to sign in and start all over? How does that work?
Oh, well, there's 2 different ways. You can sign in each time with your library card, or you can create a profile. And when you do that, then you have a login and a password, and you can get back to that specific place where you stopped.
So that would really be the advisable way to do it.
Yeah.
To set up a profile, so you can always go back to your lesson plan and pick up where you left off.
Right. And if you were to call the library, we would be glad to work like tech support, and you have your computer right there, and we'll talk you through step by step how to get to it.
So you don't have to be real computer savvy. Is that what you're saying?
No. It's very easy.
Now, how about recording your voice? How do you have to do you have to have any special type of equipment or whatever to record your voice?
Well, most computers, you would have to have a microphone on your computer, and most laptops have that. But,
sure.
Yes, you'd have to have a microphone and speakers.
Okay. All right. Well, those are just a few of the things. I think, we ought to talk about some of the experiences that people have had who have maybe taken the Mango program and seen what it has done for them. You have some cute stories to share with us that show just how exciting Mango can be, not only from a personal level, but also even from a business level.
Yes, we actually had a Vietnamese student that was very excited about learning about Mango, and he wanted to bring it back and show it to his employees at the store. so that they would be able to help customers better. And we've had people that want to learn English better in order to speak to their grandchildren here. And it's just a great thing. Prudence went to Africa, and she was able to learn a couple of phrases in, what was it, Swahili?
Swahili. Das is good.
Yeah.
I can see a Prudence saying that one there. Yeah, das is good. No, that's German. Sorry.
And I think that trying to learn another language shows goodwill, and it speaks well for Americans that we are reaching out to other cultures and other places as well, and trying to learn their language too.
Well, you know what I think is amazing, Lois, is the fact that in so many countries they have to learn English in today's world. I mean, because of the power that we have had in this world and everything. And you're right, for other people, for Americans to go out and try to learn another language, you know, there's nothing like having the pride of being able to say, parlez-vous français, or something like that makes you feel at least you're communicating. The hard thing about languages that I find, I can think I've learned a language and I'm doing pretty good, and then a native speaker says some of these things and you're going, slow down, I didn't understand a word you said, because they do speak it so different. So I'm sure the Mango is really good from that aspect because they do have native speakers in it.
Oh yes, yeah. That's one great thing about it. Yeah. And also in the part where they teach English, they have native speakers explaining English in that language, like Japanese explanation of English.
So if somebody actually wants to sit at home and wants to learn English, they can do that through the Mango. So it's actually a two-sided thing. You can come to the library, you can have a tutor work with you, or you can be at home and learn your English through the Mango languages.
Right, and hopefully they'll do both.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do both. Well, there's an idea. Isn't that great? And then, of course, you were talking about parents reading bilingual books to their children.
In today's world, bilingualism is such an important skill, and it's great that when the library has lots of Spanish English bilingual books, and when I was learning French, that's one thing that I used to learn French, and it's so you can understand what you're reading, and then you can also read it in the non-native language.
Sure.
And teach children both at the same time. And it's just a great resource that we have at the library.
Absolutely. Now, I also want to mention, because I know this is a new service, that you are now, you have movies and TV shows that people can, download or watch 3 shows or movies a week, free of charge.
Yes, that's just a new thing that the library is trying to connect people with so many different things, and movies is our latest, which is absolutely wonderful, and of course audiobooks and e-books, and
you also do a lot with newspapers and magazines too, right?
Right. That's so many things online, and that's open 24/7. So the library is so much bigger than just a building and the people in it.
Yeah. But it's a great building. I mean, if you have not been to the library, you need to go to the library because it's very open and so much goes on over there. Do check out the library. By the way, we talked about in the beginning that the book sale was a big success for the book sale, ended today at Monday. But people also ought to know that there are, whenever the Friends of the Library are there are books that can be bought at any time.
Yes, right at the entrance as you walk in on the right-hand side, and they're very good prices.
Yeah.
$2-3 for nice books and a quarter for a magazine. And paperbacks are, I'm not sure, 50 cents or so.
Very reasonable, folks. Very reasonable. Now, let's see. You'll do another one, a book sale in the spring. Is that when we do it? In the spring and the fall, usually? I mean, yeah, I think we do.
I'm not quite sure when the next one. I think you're probably right.
But they will have another one earlier in the year, and then they do one in the fall. So, and of course, that's always right there at the library. Well, you know, Lois, I think that what we have learned here today is the flexibility, number one, and the fact that if somebody would like to help tutor, whether it's literacy or learning English as a second language, you do need more people. You said you had 16 people on a waiting list.
Yes,
So
we have over 30 volunteers right now currently working at the library, volunteering, and over 50 students, and there's still more, and it's something that just keeps getting bigger and bigger because there's such a great need for both literacy and English as a second language right here in Greenwood.
yeah, so if you would like to call Lois, 941-3044, that's 941-3044. Will you be at the library tomorrow?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. So you can call her at the library tomorrow, folks. Hey, I tell you what, this is WCRS right here in Greenwood. Lois Strauss, thanks so much for coming out and sharing all this good information about the library today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It was great, and I hope you all learned something, and give Lois a call at the library to help out with tutoring. You know, what a great experience for you personally and to help somebody else. So give them a call, 941-3044. That's 941-3044. Bye-bye, everybody.